Ever notice how a random dad from 1987 looked like he'd been paying a mortgage for 30 years, but he was actually 28? It's not just your imagination playing tricks. Now picture yourself flipping through your parents' old photo albums, the ones with the sticky plastic sheets that never quite stick anymore. You're staring at people who are technically younger than you are right now, but they look like they could be your aunt or uncle at a family reunion. So what's going on here? Did humans age faster when synthesizers were the height of musical technology, or is something else at play? Turns out, the fountain of youth isn't a fountain at all. It's a combination of skincare routines, shifting fashion trends, and the fact that nobody's chain smoking in the office anymore. The mechanics behind this phenomenon are way more interesting than you'd think. Let's start with the obvious culprit: fashion choices that aged people like fine wine left open on the counter. Those oversized glasses, permed hairstyles, and mustaches that screamed, "I coach Little League on weekends," weren't doing anyone any favors in the youth department. But here's where it gets interesting. You're not just looking at dated styles, you're looking at the visual language of adulthood that people actively chose to project. Growing up meant looking grown up, and looking grown up meant adopting these specific markers of maturity. Imagine you're a 25-year-old in 1985, and you want to be taken seriously at your new job. What do? You dress like your boss, you style your hair like your boss, and suddenly you've added a decade to your appearance before your first performance review. Meanwhile, sun damage was basically a recreational activity. Tanning beds were considered health equipment. SPF was something your weird aunt worried about, not a non-negotiable step in your morning routine. Cue the dramatic irony. Entire generations baking themselves bronze while scientists were quietly documenting exactly how much this would age their skin. But who's listening to scientists when you're trying to look like the people in the Coppertone ads? The smoking epidemic deserves its own moment in the spotlight here. When roughly half the adult population was going through a pack a day, the collective skin quality took a nosedive that makeup couldn't quite mask. Fast forward to today, and you've got millennials and Gen Z treating their skincare routines like they're prepping for a space mission. Retinol, hyaluronic acid, vitamin C serums, the average bathroom cabinet now looks like a dermatologist's office. But it's not just about what we're putting on our faces, it's about what we're not putting in our bodies and how we're moving through the world differently. Less smoking, more hydration, actual awareness that the sun is not, in fact, your friend. Here's the kicker. Fitness culture went from jazzercise if you feel like it, to track your macros and optimize your recovery. People are treating their bodies like investments rather than rental cars. And it shows. Then there's the psychology of it all. Previous generations rushed to embrace middle age like it was a finish line. Today's 35-year-olds are wearing sneakers and graphic tees, refusing to accept that adulthood requires a specific uniform. Some critics say we're just prolonging adolescence, creating a generation of Peter Pans who won't grow up. Others argue we're simply redefining what different life stages look like. Who's right? Probably both, in that annoying way where opposing viewpoints can coexist. The beauty industry saw this shift coming from miles away. They pivoted from anti-aging to age-defying to age positivity while still selling you 17 different serums. The message evolved, but the profit motive stayed exactly the same. As social media exploded, suddenly everyone's face became public property, scrutinized and filtered and compared. The pressure to maintain a youthful appearance didn't decrease, it just got democratized and went digital. Consider the economic angle too. Previous generations hit certain life milestones, earlier marriage, kids, homeownership, and those responsibilities aged people in ways that went beyond the physical. Stress literally changes your face, and financial security does the opposite. Today's young adults are delaying those milestones, sometimes by choice, often by economic necessity. But the side effect? They're maintaining a more youthful presentation well into their 30s and 40s because the stressors that aged previous generations aren't hitting them the same way. Medical advances play their quiet role in the background. Better healthcare, more accessible dental care, treatments for conditions that used to just be accepted as part of aging, all of this compounds over time. The adaptation continues in real time. Instagram filters normalized a certain aesthetic, which led to actual cosmetic procedures becoming more common, which reset the baseline for what normal aging looks like. The cycle feeds itself. Despite all the discourse about authenticity and natural beauty, the cosmetic industry is booming harder than ever. The contradiction is the point we want to look naturally youthful, which apparently requires a lot of very unnatural intervention. Walk into any gathering today, and you'll find 40-year-olds who could pass for 30 and 30-year-olds who've mastered the aesthetic codes that used to belong exclusively to college students. The visual markers of age have become completely scrambled, but here's what hasn't changed. We're still obsessed with age, still measuring ourselves against timelines, still wondering if we're doing it right. We've just moved the goalposts and called it progress. The science backs up what your eyes are telling you. Yes, people genuinely are aging better than previous generations, at least externally. Better nutrition, less environmental damage, more intentional self-care. It's measurable. Yet somehow we've created a new pressure in the process. Looking young isn't just preferable anymore, it's expected, achievable. And if you're not achieving it, well, that's a personal failure. The bar didn't lower, it just shifted sideways. So that dad from 1987 with his polo shirt and receding hairline, he was playing by completely different rules in a completely different game. We're not just aging differently, we're performing age itself in a totally new way. That's the strange evolution of how we look versus how old we actually are. But stick around, because the next question might be even weirder. What happens when we've optimized ourselves so much that nobody can tell how old anyone is anymore?